If you've ever heard the phrase that feedback is the breakfast of champions, it is so true. And the reason for that is you, me, we all develop with feedback. When someone takes the time to give you honest feedback in a sincere way, in a way that builds you up and not breaks you down, you are able to grow from that. You are able to learn from that. If given correctly, feedback helps to motivate whoever you are giving this feedback to. It gives them some sort of hope that what they are doing right now is on the right path. When you provide not just suggestions for improvement, but tell them how to go about improving themselves, you give them specific action points. When you tell them not only where their weaknesses are, but to give them examples of where those weaknesses took place, then they are able to reflect and learn from their own mistakes. So in this lecture, I'll be sharing with you some advice on how to give someone feedback, and this could be anyone in your personal life or at work or maybe in your social circles. And when you give them that type of feedback, you know that you're helping a person grow. It's 5 simple steps. Let's get started. Number 1, you want to make sure that you're providing more positive feedback than negative feedback. And the reason for this is that you would like to lift their spirits up. And when you provide more positive feedback, it allows a person to be a little bit more receptive to whatever it is that's developmental or negative. So make sure that you're balancing with more positive feedback than negative feedback. Number 2, share information and not just advice. Advice does not empower an individual to make a decision to change. When you offer information and suggest ways in which improvement can take place, it's as if you are allowing the person to make the decision for themselves versus telling them via advice that this is what I think you should be doing. So incorporate the words "I suggest" into your dialogue with the person. And in that way, it doesn't come across as being too authoritative. It's a little bit more open-ended, where a person is allowed to receive the information and then they can decide to act on it. Next, keep your feedback brief. Remember that you're trying to build a person up. So when you come across as having a big list of pointers that you're sharing with the person, you can overload them. So when you are providing them with feedback, choose the top 2 points. If you allow them to work on those top 2 points, it will significantly improve whatever it is that they're trying to develop. On the contrast, if you give them this big list of things to improve on, it can overwhelm the person and can actually demoralize them instead of bringing them up. Second last is to focus on positive. Like I said earlier, you always want to start off on positive points. And when you're sharing these positive points with the person, be specific. Don't just say, I like the fact that you're always jovial. Give some examples, like the last time or last month when you were in the office and you came to the office and this was the environment and this is what you did as a consequence. So again, provide specific examples that illustrate the point and what you are bringing across. And finally, when you're building a person up, end with praising them on their progress thus far. Perhaps you have daily interactions with this person, and based on a previous meeting where you've given them some sort of praise and developmental feedback, in this meeting, you now want to give them some praise on the progress that they have made thus far. And this is quite critical to do, because you not only want to show them where to go from here, but to also show them how far they have come. Because when a person sees that they're on the right path, they're on the right track to making certain decisions, they will take your advice and your suggestions of what you're telling them in this particular meeting. And that's it. 5 simple steps on how to appraise someone, build them up, build their confidence up, and in a way, you are helping to grow and nurture talent around you. So remember that as a speaker, it's not only about inspiring big audiences, but it's also about inspiring every single person in smaller interactions, including one-on-one interactions with people all around you. Let's now move to the next and final lecture in this section, which is how to MC an event.